Andrew Ollerton, author of The Bible Course, and I'm so excited to tell you about the new and improved edition. The Bible Course New Edition is an 8-session course that will help you explore God's big story one step at a time. Whether you've read the Bible before or are yet to explore its pages, the Bible Course New Edition will help you feel more confident in reading the Bible for yourself and understanding how it all fits together and applies to your daily life. You'll explore key themes, stories, and characters that will really help you uncover God's big story. In the new edition, we'll also be joined by 3 presenters as well as Bible experts, and we'll hear some amazing personal stories.
There's something here for everyone. You can find all this on the Bible Society website. Just search the Bible Course and join thousands of others exploring God's big story one step at a time. Well, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Dai Woolridge. I'm creative specialist at the Bible Society, and it is my privilege to be hosting a live stream with you. I believe we're going out over YouTube and Facebook, so you're very welcome. I'm just going to say a super hello to people who are joining us. Hello, Black Anglican who's coming from Canada. Welcome, Adam Bowd from Cannock, Staffordshire. Margaret Della from Grimsby. Who else have we got coming in? Camelwood from London, Eve Redwood, and Adrian Manson from Liverpool. So we're all over, which is brilliant. You're so welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. This afternoon's live stream is called "The Bible is Trending: The Bible Course and the Quiet Revival." So it's a little bit of a teaser of what we'll be discussing this afternoon, but you're very welcome. I also want to say, just for housekeeping business, we are going to give a special gift to all of you who are joining us on this live stream because you've committed your lunch break to us. We want to say thank you if you buy a Bible Course guidebook, as you can see in my hands here, then we want to give you a promo code, where you can also get a free copy of Verses of Hope. So it's a great little booklet that I know will really encourage you and bless you. So if that's something you're interested in, just go to checkout with the guidebook and type in Stream25 into the kind of discount code box, and you should get a free copy of that as well. So hope that blesses. Just our small way of saying thank you so much for joining us. So next up, I'd really love to kind of find out from you guys. We've teed up, kind of what we're going to be talking about, but have you heard of the Quiet Revival? Let us know if you've heard of it in the chat. But also, have you done the Bible Course? Is that something that you've done or that you're interested in doing? And if you've got any questions around the Bible Course, mention them, and we'll try and catch them later towards the end of this live stream as well. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Now, without any further ado, we've kind of set the scene. We've given you the promo code. I'm going to be joined by 2 brilliant guests this lunchtime, and I'd love to introduce them to you. Is that okay? I'm saying, is that okay for suspense? Of course, I'm going to do it anyway, aren't I? But I'm going to introduce you first up to the research extraordinaire, guys. She's the author of the Not So Quiet Revival Research, and her name is Dr. Rhiannon McAleer. Welcome, Rhiannon.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
You've had your own standing ovation, Rhiannon. We're very excited to have you.
Great, thank you.
And also next to Rhiannon, we have a mystery guest. I've never seen him before in my life. No, that is a joke. Of course it is. We are joined by another doctor and author of the upcoming book, God's Book, and of course, the Bible Course as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm hand or hi with emoji to Andrew Ollerton.
Hey Di, thank you for that artificial applause. I'm always very grateful for that.
I mean, it's one of the things I do really. I'm like the guy of Police Academy. I do sound effects as well. We've got everything. We've got everything here today. But welcome, guys. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you both, and really grateful for you joining us. Now, I'd love to go straight to you, Rhiannon, first, if that's okay. We've kind of given the game away, you guys. We kind of know what we're going to be talking about. The first thing is the Quiet Revival. Now, if people haven't heard of the Quiet Revival, it feels like they might be living under a rock, because it's just, it's been talked about so much, and there's a wonderful irony in that. But there's lots of enthusiasm around it. But I just wonder, as the author of the Quiet Revival, would love to kind of hear, like, what is it for perhaps those who haven't heard of it? How did it come about? And why is it so exciting and significant for the church in our cultural moment today?
Thanks, Dai. So the Quiet Revival is a report that Bible Society released back in April now, which seems a long time ago, but about 6 months ago. And it was the latest results of a long-running project we've been looking at about what adults in England and Wales think about Christianity and the Bible. And we've been doing this research for some time and unpacking the findings. But when we ran the survey last year in 2024, we found something really amazing and really significant. And that's what we wrapped up in the Quiet Revival report, put it out into the world. And it's been amazing that everyone's been talking about it quite a lot since then in various ways. But one of the big things that came out in that grabbed all the headlines in Christian press and the mainstream media was that we saw the number of people in England and Wales saying they go to church regularly had gone up. And this was particularly the case in young adults. And what was really cool was, at the time for us as researchers, we were like, we'd been hearing a little bit about that, but we weren't expecting it to show up in the data. But ever since then, the absolute wave of feedback that we've had from churches, from all denominations and expressions all around the country, saying, this really resonates with us. We are seeing more people coming in. Not everyone, not everywhere, and that's okay. Sure. But certainly our data tapped into something that's happening. And it's been really amazing seeing the conversations around it. But the report also covered other things as well. It noted a spiritual openness in England and Wales. And again, among our young adults in our population, we saw that this was particularly strong. So young adults, particularly those who don't go to church, saying that they think it's a good thing for Christians to talk about their faith with non-Christians, that they'd be interested in knowing the Bible a little bit more, that maybe they're even interested in going to church if someone, a friend or a family member, invited them. So that's really interesting. And that's the wider atmosphere that we need to be aware of. And we also saw some really interesting things around the Bible. So we saw that within our data set, like, the Bible's doing really well among churchgoers compared to our earlier surveys. Bible reading had gone up across denominations and expressions, that the church looks in general a bit more confident around the Bible, which is brilliant. And there's real Bible hunger. So 86% of churchgoers say, I want to know the Bible more. And among our young Christians, our young adults, that rises to 90%. So there's real Bible hunger, but some challenges as well, which we can unpack in a bit.
Incredible. I mean, set the scene wonderfully for this there, Rhiannon. And I think, to realize that this is kind of 6 years in the making, right? Kind of 2018 was the first research poll, and then 2024. So, like some really kind of solid data evidence to back up what people are seeing anecdotally. So it's great, isn't it? So that's super helpful, and we'll come back to some of the findings a little bit more. But the other kind of, I guess, part of this conversation is around the Bible is trending. You kind of teed us up wonderfully for that, Rhiannon. But Andrew, what do we mean by the Bible is trending? Like, could you unpack that a bit for us? What are you seeing?
I think it's this shift that Rhiannon's referring to, and it's not an overnight shift. I think there's been a slow and steady reflection, I think, often beginning with public intellectuals who've begun to think differently about the Bible. I think we've come out of an era where the Bible is under attack primarily. In the New Atheist era, that was more prominent, and horrible things were said about the Bible by people who just wanted to discredit it, get it out of the public space. And I think we've seen this growing resurgence of interest in the Bible that, names like Jordan Peterson teaching so much, relying so much on the Bible, has had its impact. People were sort of beginning to think. I can remember back in 2019 meeting him at an event and just talking and realizing, gosh, it was just a very different tone, a leaning in to see what the Bible might have to offer, as opposed to assuming the Bible is old-fashioned, discredited, and irrelevant. And so I think we're seeing that shift now at grassroots level, at the public intellectuals level. We're seeing that ongoing sense that a lot of celebrities actually are really quite open to being identified with, seen with. I just saw the latest was Usain Bolt was sort of talking positively about his, the role of Bible with him and how he travels with the Bible. Paul is in God, if you're familiar with the football, channel, just so much positive, and Stormzy and others in the more of the music and artist space. So at 30,000 feet, we're seeing people are positively identifying with, thinking the Bible's got something to contribute. And I think that's really touching down at grassroots level now as well. And I think, as Rhiannon said, some of it's generational. Certainly when I was a sort of teenager, I don't know about you guys, but I was not, whilst I officially, if you like, believed the Bible, I'd been raised in a Christian home, I did not want to be identified with it. I didn't think it was sort of something that was going to get me very far with my friends. My own children, who are now teenagers, interestingly, several times recently, a couple of my kids have said to me, "Dad, do you have a spare copy of the Bible?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do. I work for Bible Society. I've got." Well, why do you need that?
No.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've definitely got one. My question is, why do you need it? And both times it's been, actually more than twice, 3 or 4 times it's been, because a friend of mine really wants one. And so this sense that for younger generations, the Bible is almost like this unknown quantity. So there's a curiosity there as opposed to a dismissal. And then this sense that the Bible might be a gift, might be something that could be of value to my life. And I would like to have one. And I just think that's really, for some of us who are of a different generation, that is almost, it's taking a while to get our heads around that whereas the parents' generation have almost said, I know what the Bible is and I don't need any more of that. They feel they've had it pushed on them. They've therefore raised a generation with no input regarding the Bible. So now they're growing up saying, I don't know what the Bible is. Maybe I need it. And that's a real cultural shift.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? I mean, even you just kind of just sharing your reflections of when you're a teenager compared to your teenage kids. And yeah, it's kind of unthinkable, isn't it? Like, I remember when I was a teenager, it felt like it was a really brave thing to can even own up to the fact that, you even had a belief in God in an RE class. And so, yeah, it's kind of, it feels really exciting. So that's super helpful. Thank you for framing. Go on.
Just to interrupt you on that, I was just talking to someone literally this morning, actually, just triggered a thought, and he was saying, he was telling his 15-year-old the other day, he was telling him, get off your phone, too much screen time. And the 15-year-old came back with this brilliant, who are you messaging? Get off your phone. Came back with the ultimate response, which was, he said, I'm having a Bible study on Snapchat with my friends. And if anything's going to get you screen time in our home, it would probably be that. But that sense that, the surprise of it. Now I realise not everyone on their phone is doing that, but that sense of the surprise that there's a new interest is really something.
And are you doing Bible study on your Snapchat, Andrew? You doing that later today?
Less on Snapchat, but I know my kids are. It really is quite surprising. And one of those Bibles that I mentioned that one of my son. He said I gave him a copy, and then he went off and wrapped it up because apparently it was his friend's birthday. Wow. And so he wrapped it in birthday wrapping paper to give it as a gift. And I just thought, that is not what I was doing when I was 15. So things are shifting, aren't they?
Amazing. Really, really helpful. Really encouraging stuff as well. So Rhiannon, I wonder whether we can kind of come back to you and tease out some of the incredible wisdom that you have for us. Obviously, the Quiet Revival research, the data is really encouraging. But I wonder if you could help us work out what do we do with this? Great, it's encouraging. Everyone's talking about it in and outside the church, but how can we respond well to the Quiet Revival?
Well, if anyone hasn't had a chance to read the report, really recommend that you download it and have a look in the back end of it, where we've got our recommendations there. And we pull out a few things that we think be really positive for the church to do. So these include things like really prioritizing intergenerational conversations. We can see throughout our data how important mentoring and learning from others is, and also that young Christians who are showing such high Bible hunger and high passion, exactly as Andrew said, like there's a shift in kind of the posture of young Christians generationally, but they're also saying more so than older Christians that they struggle to know where to turn to learn more about the Bible, that they struggle to find people to learn from, and they struggle to find appropriate resources. So we think really joining generations up, people who can demonstrate what a lifelong lived faith is for this new and enthusiastic generation would be really beneficial, as well as prioritizing interpersonal relationships, equipping Christians to have good conversations, because our data suggests that for those who are spiritually curious, the biggest influence on whether people will be interested in learning more is that personal touch. So influencers, the internet, all of this matters. But what people tell us in our surveys and our research is, I want to know what my friends and my family think. So local community, these are the things that people are searching for and that really matter. But we would also say it's so important in this missional moment to be getting really serious about the Bible. And this is like a core foundational thing that all churches can do. So if you're interested as a church leader or mission practitioner in helping people deepen their relationship with the Bible, our wider research that we haven't published yet, but we are going to get it out in the next year or so, points to some very tangible things that you can do. So one thing is invest in early foundations, right? So regular childhood reading. It's a great indicator of Bible confidence as an adult. It's the same with lived faith as an adult in general. If you get those early foundations right, you're building for the future. But beyond that, mentoring, again, comes up as really important. So people who read with others. The Bible's a community text. We learn as we read together. So really prioritizing that regular Bible reading in community, we think makes a real big difference to deeper Bible confidence, Bible engagement, but also appropriate resourcing. So the number one indicator of high Bible confidence is regular reading, right? But we know that the Bible's not always an easy text. It's not easy to pick up and know where to begin. And that many Christians, it's about a third roughly, will tell us things like, I worry about being wrong when I talk about the Bible, or I find it hard to understand what I'm reading, or I don't know where to begin. So resourcing to really help people build those regular habits and understand what they're reading is absolutely vital if we're going to grow a Bible confident church.
Come on. So I mean, I asked for gold. I got a gold mine. I got a quarry of gold. I don't know. I'm riffing you, but
too much maybe.
Okay. No, but honestly, I think it's really helpful, isn't it? I mean, you mentioned about kind of early foundation, reading the Bible, cross-generational. I know some good children's books. There's one by a guy called Dai Woolridge called God's Brilliantly Big Creation Story. It's absolutely fantastic. My favorite children's author. So that's one option. But as a poet, I can't help but kind of, I guess, think alliteratively, because you've kind of set me up there already, Rhiannon. We're kind of, we're seeing this fresh Bible hunger, which is really exciting. We want to see Bible confidence, and to kind of, I guess, quote you, we want to see reading go up, right? Reading together, which is relational, and and then the third is kind of resource. We want to equip people to read the Bible well. And I know Andrew talks about this. You kind of refer to the Ethiopian eunuch and Philip the evangelist. That kind of conversational stuff is really important as well. So that's super helpful. And I think as Bible Society, this tees us up wonderfully for what we think is a pretty good resource, which is the Bible course. I've asked you before if you've done the Bible course. Let us know in the chats. I believe some of you have said that you've done it. I saw one message from Joanne Kember. You've done the old Bible course, and you're looking forward to doing the new course as well in your new community, which is really exciting. So thanks for letting us know about that. We're going to be joined by Rhiannon and Andrew again in a little while, but just to kind of set us up, you might have already seen it, but let's have a look one more time at the Bible Course New Edition promo. If you haven't seen it, have a look at the screen now.
Hello, I'm Andrew Ollerton, author of the Bible course, and I'm so excited to tell you about the new and improved edition. The Bible Course New Edition is an 8-session course that will help you explore God's big story one step at a time. Whether you've read the Bible before or are yet to explore its pages, the Bible Course New Edition will help you feel more confident in reading the Bible for yourself and understanding how it all fits together and applies to your daily life. You'll explore key themes, stories, and characters that will really help you uncover God's big story. In the new edition, we'll also be joined by 3 presenters as well as Bible experts, and we'll hear some amazing personal stories.
There's something here for everyone. You can find all this on the Bible Society website. Just search the Bible course and join thousands of others exploring God's big story one step at a time. Excellent. Thank you so much. Welcome back, guys. So yeah, that was a taster of the Bible Course New Edition. And we are joined, of course, by the author, Mr. Bible Course himself, Andrew Ollerton. And Andrew, I'd love, I mean, so many people have probably heard of the Bible Course, if not done it, joining us this lunchtime, but would love to kind of peer behind the curtains of, you know, how did the Bible Course come to be? What's the origin story?
Well, I think it goes back a long way, actually, back to about 2009, 2010. And we were leading some churches, small churches down in Cornwall, and seeing a lot of people come to faith. And I think one of the great challenges then for people journeying to faith who haven't had that, you know, Rhiannon spoke about the importance of childhood growth in the Bible. If you've not had that, it's really hard. It's like coming into a movie partway through, isn't it? You just don't know who are all these characters and what's the story. And so we baptized a whole load of people one Easter, and I said to them, we used to give them a copy of the Bible as a gift, and I could see they were grateful, but they were also a bit overwhelmed, you know. And I said to them, I'll give you a kind of post-baptism crash course in the Bible. And basically one thing led to another. And unintentionally, I often call the Bible course a divine accident, because I think God had a plan, but we were just accidentally trying to help people who were in front of us. I still remember those people. I met one or two of them at the Big Church Festival recently, and it reminded me just of that journey. So it's kind of helpful to tell that story, because it's really then reminding that actually this is about just helping ordinary people make sense of the Bible for themselves. And that story of Philip and the Ethiopian that you alluded to, the Ethiopian says to Philip, how can I understand this unless someone helps me? You know, and that's nothing to do with intelligence. The Ethiopian eunuch was an unbelievably successful businessman, politician, whatever terms we might want to use. No problem with intelligence. It's just, why would I know how to make sense of the Bible if no one's shown me? So I think that's what the heart behind the Bible course is. We've got to give people a way in and a way on when it comes to the Bible. And so that's, you know, and then it developed from there. So from Cornwall, that was what we've called the first edition, which is rather generous because it was a pretty ropey resource at that point. And then I relocated to teach theology, and we made a second edition at a theological college. And then from there, Bible Society picked up on it, invested properly in it. And the third edition that many people will have used, and that is the most familiar, is what Bible Society did with it, which has been amazing. And now we've just released this new edition. So it's had quite a journey.
Brilliant. Many editions, yeah, great. Yeah. And I love that as well. I love the fact that it was a response to just new converts, new believers, just wanted to get to grips with the Bible. So I love the heart behind that. So you mentioned the new edition. This is kind of obviously one of the things that we want to give people a heads up about, encourage people to check out. But what's new with the new edition, I guess, is my question, Andrew.
Well, I think we looked hard, long and hard. Rhiannon and her team did a brilliant job actually of doing sort of research into who'd used the Bible course, what did they make of it. So we had a lot of intelligence, if you like, on by this stage on what's working, but also what could be improved. And I think some of the things that were coming back were we wanted it to reach a younger audience. So we've worked really hard to build in younger presenters, younger voices, but also
younger.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were probably the exception to that.
One of them's not so young.
But you wore a cap, and that meant you disguised as a young person. But you did a brilliant job along with our other two presenters. So there's this new voice and tone to it. I think more conversational, which is really important. We know a lot of people. I remember, Rhiannon, you may remember this, but there was that brilliant sort of bit of research that highlighted what was called the learning trauma. That sense that people have had an experience in the past, maybe in school, of just feeling like they've been made to feel stupid, like I just don't even know the basics, and it puts a certain trauma in us. I don't want to sort of find myself in a situation where I'm made to feel like that again. So we avoid things like the Bible, where you might feel like you just don't know enough. So you're not, and we just really worked hard to say, actually, it's not about how much you know, and no one's going to be made to feel stupid. It's much more conversational like that. So those things have really helped, along with a lot of technology. We use the latest virtual production studios to recreate Bible scenes that I was then immersed in. So there's a conversational tone, there's a lot of technology, and there's also some brilliant experts in each episode now. There's an subject expert that has a voice into it, which is great. Some more diversity, as well as we really wanted to increase the sort of story, the heart of the Bible course. I think, again, what the research has highlighted is this relevance crisis. People think the Bible course is not relevant to their lives today. Sorry, not the Bible course, the Bible. And so we've built into the Bible course every episode now stories of real people saying, when I got to grips with this part of the Bible, it actually affected the way I live my life. And I think that's real gold, because that's where you journey. The arc of the Bible course session now is journeying from the first century, what the Bible times, if we're in the New Testament, were about, to the 21st century. This is for your life today.
Brilliant. Yeah, super helpful. Yeah, and it was a privilege to be part of that as well. And shout out to my co-presenters, Sandeep and Rotundo, who were just excellent. And yeah, I think there's such a breadth, balance, and like you said, diversity. And that was a great reference to my name as well, Andrew, diversity. So thank you for that. So some people are saying that they've done the course before, which is great. Who's it for, Andrew? Is it for, and how, if you've done the course before, is it for you as well? What's your kind of thoughts around that?
Well, look, I think if we're honest, the Bible itself, I think, I've often compared it to a swimming pool. It starts in a rather shallow end. There's one simple narrative in Genesis. There's Adam and Eve. There's one family, one story. And then before you know it, it's shelving into much deeper waters, where Israel is being chosen through the Abraham story. And before you know it, there's multiple tribes. And then the tribes are divided into two kingdoms. And there's kings up north and south. In other words, it doesn't matter how confident you are in some of the shallow waters, all of us reach moments with the Bible where we're a bit out of our depth. So I don't think any of us are going to grow out of, I need to do it again. I need to reinforce my learning, my understanding. There's always more to get. I would also say this new edition has so much content that is not in the previous edition. So it's not that you're doing a repeat, you're doing a new thing. But in terms of who it's for, I like to think, with all that the Quiet Revival is revealing, if something like 35% of young men outside the church are saying they would like to understand the Bible for themselves, there are a lot of Ethiopian eunuchs out there. In other words, I say that as someone who's curious. They just would like some help to make sense of the Bible. So in terms of who the Bible course is for, yes, it is for the Christian, the Philip, who wants to be equipped. I want to be confident with the Bible. That's the first and foremost audience. But when people run the Bible course, I'm hearing more and more people are launching the Bible course in the next few weeks, and they're saying, we're going to just invite everyone in our town. We're going to, if there's this new interest in the Bible, if the quiet revival is really happening, we're going to throw the door wide open. Who knows what curious people may say, actually, I'd love to do a course that helps me understand the world's best-selling book. So it's for the Christian first and foremost, but don't put a limit on it. Don't say no for people. Let them say no themselves if they don't want to do it. Why not invite the town? Why not invite your community and see what happens?
Brilliant. I'm just looking at the chat. Thank you, Andrew. Super helpful. Just looking at the chat now. People are Joanne Kember's done the old Bible course. Excited to do the new version. We've got Mark Penner from Oregon in the States joining us, and he said he wants to see this in the United States as well. So that's exciting. And Black Anglican agrees about seeing it in Canada. So you might be doing a kind of an America tour at some point, Andrew. That's really exciting.
Well, just for the benefit of our Canadian guest, it's already published by Canadian Bible Society, so do check that out.
Brilliant. Perfect. That's great news. That's really great news. Keep your comments coming in as well, guys. And Andrew, you kind of referenced back to the Quiet Revival and some of those kind of key findings. Incredible, isn't it? About that point you made about more young people outside the church would be really open to reading the Bible. So you've kind of suggested that, the data is there that people would be warm and interested. And perhaps we wouldn't have assumed that a few years ago. So that's really exciting. But Rhiannon, I wonder whether I could come back to you, because one of the stats you gave me before this conversation that we're having now was around how many people have done the Bible course already. And it's mind-blowing. 145,000 people estimated have already done the Bible course, which is just really encouraging for us. But I wonder, are we seeing evidence that the Bible course is helping us with Bible confidence? What are we seeing in the data?
Yeah, thank you, Dai. That's a really great question. We do monitor the effectiveness of our programs, including the Bible course. But in 2023, we did a big evaluation. We got an independent agency in to do it for us, to make sure that we were getting really valid and robust data from outsiders, as well as the internal stuff that we gather. And we saw a really incredible result. And while, as Andrew said, there were points to improve, and these have been actioned in the most recent edition, we saw overwhelmingly that for the majority of people who go through the Bible course and that we heard back from, their depth and richness and quality of their engagement with the Bible had increased. It's about 4 out of 5, it's 81% of people say that they are more confident engaging with and navigating the Bible as a result of going through the Bible course. A majority, 81% again, say they've done a follow-up activity since going through the Bible course. And 1 in 3 who've done it say they read the Bible more as a result. Brilliant. Which is just amazing when you think this is mostly being done by people who are already in the church and Bible engaged. So that 1 in 3, you think about the millions of Christians in the country, what a potential kind of catalyzing effect that could have if we could get this into the hands of every church group around the country. We also see these bigger impacts, not just around the Bible, so that it's deepened faith and it's deepened their relationship with God. And one thing that participants often talk about is they have light bulb moments when they go through the course. Andrew mentioned that this was a course developed for new Christians, but what we see very strongly in the evaluations is that this works for lifelong Christians as well. And people who might have known the Bible for a long time, but going through the course, it just, I finally get it. I finally get how it all kind of links together and how I link into that story as well. So we've got, we really think this can benefit lots of people, and with the new edition and the research-led changes that have been put in place. Really hopeful for higher impact again. But we'd really love for people to get back in touch with us. When you've done it, let me know how it goes, and we can add it into the evidence base as well.
Amazing. That's so encouraging to hear, and I think you've captured that really helpfully. That it's for those who've just begun the journey of faith, maybe just started attending church, but it's also for the lifelong Christians, those who've maybe read the Bible several times, cover to cover. It's not like something you just complete, is it? And you kind of go and you move on. It's an ongoing journey, and we just want to fan into flame the Bible hunger. And equip Bible confidence. That's super helpful. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to near towards the end of this conversation now. I just want to remind you one more time that you can order your own copy of the Bible Course Guidebook, and that is delightful, guys. I mean, look at that. It's a very lovely feeling book. I mean, it's more important than just how it feels and looks. Of course it is. It's more important what's on the inside. As we know from a particular Bible story. But also, guys, it's just a really helpful addition if you're going to journey through the Bible course to have your own guidebook. So if you want to order your own copy, use the promo code STREAM25. It should come up on the chat, and we'll give you a free Verses of Hope book as well. The other thing we'd really encourage you to do, guys, is to watch session 1 of the Bible course. So all you've got to do is go to the link. It should be a super simple registration, and then you'll have access to all 8 sessions of the video sessions of the Bible course. Would really encourage you to check out session 1 now. Check the link out. Let us know what you think. And I'm just going to go back quickly to some of the comments. We've got someone from Tampa, Florida joining us. Jason, you're welcome. We've got Eve. We've got Helen. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. And Graham as well, for saying that he's done the first course and it was extremely enjoyable, engaging and very informative. Thank you, Graham. We really encourage you said that. And we think the next stage for you is to do the Bible course new edition, because we think that's excellent and engaging and informative as well. But thank you so much. Andrea, wonder just in close, would love to come back to you finally with why for you, what's your vision and heart with the Bible course? What would you like to see it achieve?
Yeah, I think, it's been such a long journey since all the way back to 2010 that I just feel very excited. I think we're on the cusp of something new. I feel really grateful as well. There have been so many people who've invested in this over the years. I met people this summer, actually reconnected with people who put sort of hard labor and even finance into the earliest of days. And then when it came into Bible Society, so many people within Bible Society have invested time in it. One particular shout out to our friend Rob Hare, who's just given so much to this. He's been on the journey with us for years now. And we couldn't have got to where we are without him and what he's brought to it. So there's so many heroes that are behind this. And now in terms of hopes, I just think, what a moment. If the Quiet Revival is showing us there's a new openness to the Bible, that it's being perceived not as a problem, but as a positive, not as something to disparage, but as a gift. What an opportunity if we've got the Bible course to introduce people to the world's best-selling book. And I'd love to see that. My hope is that that'll happen, across all social spectrums. I love seeing the Bible course being used in university settings. That's great. And it is being, I love seeing it being used in prisons as well. And often there's such a hunger there. And chaplains are running the course. I love seeing it used across all of the denominations, Catholic churches. I was at a Catholic conference this summer, and there's so much appetite for it. Right through to Pentecostal churches. I know one church locally that's launching it as an Elim church. So there's so much going on across social and denominational spectrums. But at the heart of it, going back to the story, is just helping ordinary people who probably have felt I'm not clever enough or I don't know enough, feel actually you can make sense of the Bible for yourself. This is not inaccessible. And when you do, I love that little reversible phrase, when we make sense of the Bible makes sense of us. And I think people feel that when they journey through the story of the Bible, they realize, oh, this actually is making my story more hopeful and meaningful through Jesus. So, there's a lot of people right now, as we face a bit of a meaning crisis, who are reaching out for hope and for purpose. I hope we can throw the door wide open to Bible courses all across the country and say, come in and hear about what this story is about and find your place in it.
Wow, what a moment we're in, and such an encouraging pep talk for us. Please, Lord, we want to see this fan into flame, this Bible hunger, equip us to understand the story better, this great news story that's true, that we get to be part of. Really encouraging. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please give me a warm hand to Dr. Andrew Ollerton of the Bible course. I don't know if there's an applause. Yes, there is an applause. Yeah, we were weighing up whether it was worth the applause, but you definitely, the last kind of statement you made, Andrew, it was definitely worth the applause. So thank you so much. And Dr. Rhiannon McAleer as well, author of the Not So Quiet Revival Research. Really grateful for you joining us. Do I get a round of applause as well? Okay, brilliant. Yeah, I get one as well. Excellent. Guys, and thank you so much to all of you for joining us, giving up your lunch break and letting us chat around the Quiet Revival and the Bible course. We'd love you to get your hands on the guidebook, do the course, and tell others about it. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.